Advaram Paryaya Vidmahi Jnanalingeshwaraya Dhimahi Tanno Guruhu Prachodayate Om Yoga Maharishi Dr. Swami Geetananda Giri Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. The Bindu Sadhana is continuing, and we have seen how when we do the Bindu Sadhana, what we are doing is we are unblocking the blocks, we are opening the doors, the windows, we are putting on the switches that enable us to connect to these cosmic energies. People often wonder, are these things real? I am reminded of the first meeting that Swami Vivekananda, at that time he was Narendranath. The first meeting that Swami Vivekananda had with his guru, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. And Vivekananda, at that time he was still Narendranath, asks Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, remember, someone who has reached the highest state where that Hamsa Soham Ajapa has become a conscious reality for them. Their higher centers are all working. That is what a Paramahamsa is. Now, the bhogis, false yogis, running around calling themselves Paramahamsa. People think it's just a title to be added. You know, whenever I get a Facebook request from someone who says, you know, Master Yogi so-and-so or Yogi so-and-so, most probably I don't even respond to the friend request. The real one doesn't have to advertise itself. It is. When you are the reality, you don't have to run around saying, I am human, I am human, I am human. Just you have to be human. It is the one who is acting like it who has to run around saying, I am a human being, I am a human being, I am a human being. Do the lions have to run around telling us that they are a lion? They just have to be a lion, they are a lion. The giraffes just have to be the giraffe. The donkeys just have to be the donkeys going hee-haw. The yogi just has to be. You don't need this, I tell you seriously. Yes, Arvind Swami, we have to watch out. So many people, they do 100-hour, 200-hour yoga training, and suddenly Yogi Mahapuba, the divine most, His Holiness, blah, 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 blah. It's all nothing but loads of something that starts with the second alphabet and ends with the alphabet that comes before T. I'm being very diplomatic today, okay? Ramakrishna was a true Paramahamsa. Ramakrishna was a true Paramahamsa. It is like Ramana was a true Maharishi. We had an associate who used to come in the days when Swamiji was here and running different events, and he used to show up for different events. This guy was a physical education teacher who realized he could make it bigger by coming into the field of yoga. A lot of them out there. So he came into yoga, and so initially his name was there. I don't want to say the name because these are personal details, confidentiality, but still, the concept I want to explain. And I'm still in contact with him, okay? The world's a very funny place in that way. And so let's call him Mr. Boga. Okay, just for a story's sake. Now you are into Dr. Ananda's storytelling class. Mr. Boga. So Mr. Boga was the physical education teacher, and the first time he came to one of our events, he was Mr. Boga presenting on yoga and physical education. The next time he came, he became suddenly Boga Ananda. When Ananda got added, you know how it happens? I'm sorry, no, second time was Yogi Boga. So first time he was Mr. Boga. Second event he was Yogi Boga. Sounds good, Yogi Boga. The third event he became Swami Bogananda. The next event he was Yogacharya Swami Bogananda. The next event he became Yoga Rishi Swami Bogananda. And by the time the sixth or seventh event he came back, he was Yoga Maharishi Dr. Swami Bogananda. And I'm like, this is amazing. You know, we talk about career advancement. This was his own self-justified career advancement. And I remember we went to one spiritual event, and as we drove the car in, Swamiji was in the back, I was in the front as a small kid, and we drove into this place where this event was going to be. This guy was standing there. And he's like, "Hello, Swamiji, vanakkam." And Swamiji says, even the devil comes to these events. Swamiji had an amazing sense of humor that went over most people's head. So coming back to a real Paramahamsa, Ramakrishna. And God bless him, because if not for him, Narendranath would not have become Swami Vivekananda. The Guru Kadaksham, the grace of the Guru, that enabled Swami Vivekananda to spearhead taking the message of the East to the West and putting things onto the trajectory, for bad or worse, it's on that trajectory that we are all on currently. Narendranath asks Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, "Have you seen God?" And without batting an eyelid, Ramakrishna answers back, "Yes, as well as I am seeing you." Amazing statement. So whenever people say, are these things, are the chakras, are the bindus real? They are as real as you and me. The problem is, we are not able to see it. Why are we not able to see it? Because Patanjali, Maharishi Patanjali, my dear superhero Pat, he has already told us, if you don't know what you are looking for, you will not see it. If you don't know what you are looking for, you will not see it, because you are not looking for it. You don't know what it looks like. I have shared that video of, the moonwalking bear in the middle of the basketball. And so many of you would have seen that. Some of those beautiful videos that have come out of, creating awareness about cyclists on the road. And watch out for cyclists. Because if you are driving and not watching for the cyclist, you're not going to see them. I think this is very true of the modern situation, where we need to watch out for these samskara, vasana tendencies that are there in so many forms, including the forms that demean other human beings. Those prejudices that demean other human beings. We may have those prejudices and not know it because we are not looking for it. So we think, I am perfect. Yes, you are perfect because you are not looking at your own drawbacks. You are not capable of looking at your drawbacks, so you think you are perfect. And that is why the less the people know, the more they think they know. And the more the people know, the less they realize they know. ICYER, Tamil Moodati ICYER says, "Kattradu kai mannalavu, kaladadu ulagalavu, kattradu kai mannalavu." What we know is the sand. What we know is what's in one hand. Kattradu kaimannalavu. If you take sand in your hand, how much is there? That's what you know. Kalladadu, what you don't know. Ulagalavu is as big as the world, or rather the universe. And that is why with greatness comes humility. For those of you who watched the beautiful Global Voices episode 2 of Divya Priya Bhavanani last night in conversation with Yogi Raj, Rajudev and my darling American mother, Doris Ling, you would have seen that. Such humility, such real human beings. The yogi should be a real human being, not an artificial facade. And that's what you saw yesterday. And I was telling Divya today, I'm so proud of her, so very proud of her. Because you know what I used to do, by going to different places, I would go to North America and all our Geethananda family would come together. I'd go to the UK and all our Geethananda family would come together. I would go to Italy and our Geethananda family came together. I went down under, the Geethananda family came together. And she's doing it right from here. She's bringing the whole Geethananda Yoga family together in one place, right from where we are. This is called evolution. The next generation should be better than us. That is when we realize that the previous generation has done a good job. If the next generation is worse than us, well, no credit to us for what we have done. So coming back, the Bindus, the Chakras, the Nadis are as real as you and me. But we need to know what we are looking for. And that is why Kabir Das, he says in one of his dohas, one of his poems, he says that if God and Guru appear before you at the same time, if God and Guru appear before you at the same time, who do you bow to first? Who do you offer your obeisance to first? The God and the Guru. And Kabir Das, amazing realized person, one of those spiritual giants of Indian tradition who was so misunderstood. Even after his death, he was misunderstood. When Kabir Das died, he had disciples who were Hindu and Muslim. And as usual, after his whole life where he had talked about God is not outside, God is inside, God doesn't belong to any religion, God cannot be put in a box, God doesn't see discrimination. After all his whole life of teaching, these stupid students of him, my father used to say, be careful of your stupid students. They will do you in. Your stupid students will do you in because they don't know you in Samadhi. They will put you on the cremation ground and cremate you or bury you alive. Because they don't know you in Samadhi. They think you have died. He said, be careful. The second thing he said, never go out of your ashram leaving your students in charge. They'll lock you out. So many gurus have had that. Kabir Das had these stupid disciples. And so when he died, instead of saying, our great Mahatma, let us live his teachings, you know what those idiots did? They started arguing whether he should be cremated or whether he should be buried. And they started fighting with each other. The Hindu disciples saying, no, we must cremate him as per our Shastras and tradition. The Muslim students, devotees saying, no, we are going to bury him because that is the way he was born Muslim. He was never born Muslim. He came into a Muslim family. He was found. In Indian stories, whenever we didn't want to say that people abandoned the child, we say that child was divine and found by somebody. It's a euphemism for an abandoned child. So we have no idea where Kabir Das came from. And so these two groups of disciples come to blows. We are going to cremate him. No, we are going to bury him. And poor Kabir Das, he is lying there. Suddenly, the body disappears and just flowers are found on that place. Just flowers are there. Now you would again think these stupid disciples would say, what a miracle. Guruji's body has disappeared and flowers are there. Let us learn our lesson. We were arguing about something that was not important. Let us learn our lesson. Forgive us, Guruji. No, idiots are idiots. And so you know what they did? The Hindu disciples took flowers and cremated those flowers, and the Muslim devotees took the flowers and buried them. The difficulty with all these great Mahatmas is that the people who came after them have been so stupid, they have not understood the message of the Mahatma. Kabir Das, such an exalted person. To me, whenever I listen to his poetry, Mukhe, he says, Mukho, he says, where are you looking? Where are you looking for the divine? The divine is not in the temple or the masjid, it is not there or here. The divine is in you. Like that Kasturi man, that deer, the musk deer, that is running around looking for that source of that scent, not knowing the scent is, the source is itself. That is why Swamiji so often said, you are responsible for your health and happiness, nobody else. We are the master of our destiny. We always want to blame somebody else. Kabir Das, in his Doha, he says, if the Guru and God appear before you, who do you bow to first? And then he himself answers, the Guru. The question comes, why the Guru? He says, because you will not recognize God if the Guru doesn't introduce you to God. You don't know what God is until someone shows you. You don't know what the Bindus are. You see the Bindu, you experience the Bindu, you experience the chakra, and you don't know what it is. Because you don't know what you're looking for. We have this egotistical attitude that, I can walk into a room and see everything, you see nothing. Go and watch those videos on, don't miss the cyclist videos, and you'll realize there's a video that Manjari Prabhu sent me because she's an amazing writer of, detective stories. So she sent this one, it's a detective one. And you won't realize the magic that happens in those few seconds. You don't notice anything because you're not looking for it. So the bindus, the chakras, the nadis, all of this psychic anatomy and physiology of yoga exists as much as you and me exist. But because we are limited by our sensory perception, we want to see it with these eyes. We want to see it with these eyes. These eyes are not capable of seeing the subtle things. You cannot even see infrared and ultraviolet. Then how the hell are you going to see all these things? I don't see it, so don't exist. Go sit in your well, deep well, and say the world is my well. Kenathla irukra thaukla we say in Tamil. Frog in the well who thinks the well is the universe. And it doesn't matter how much you tell that frog there's a big universe, they said no. You are mental case. Go and get admitted in psychiatry. Aristotle suffered it, Socrates suffered it, Jesus suffered it, everybody suffered it. Because of this frog in the well mentality who couldn't understand that these things exist. When the great saint Jnanadev of Maharashtra, his father had an issue with that. And they said, we will only accept if the buffalo, chants the Vedas. All these guys, all these heads who think they know it all, those fat, bloated, big-headed, pig-headed people who think they know it all because they memorized the scriptures. Books are for the obedience of fools and the guidance of the wise. Be wise, don't be a fool. And these people, they are like telling Jnanadev's father, no, we are excommunicating you because you came back to family after being a Swami and blah, blah, blah. And they say, we will only accept it as truth if that buffalo chants the Vedas. These are supposed to be Vedic scholars who want the buffalo to chant the Vedas to understand the truth. Then what the hell they were understanding those Vedas? The Veda is the truth. And these guys had memorized the words without understanding the context and the meaning. And today in the world of yoga, you have people who talk about yoga who have no realization of yoga at all. If you don't realize these concepts, Bharatiya, someone who's so close to my heart, this great Mahakavi, great poet, Desiya Mahakavi, nationalist poet he was, who came to Pondicherry and wrote amazing poetry. Bharatiya tells us Nenjil uramumindri, without anything in the heart, with nothing in the heart, no true feeling in the heart. Nenjil uramumindri, nermai thiramumindri. They don't have integrity. They don't have the capacity to be straight. Nenjil uramumindri, nermai thiramumindri. Vanjanai solvaradi. They'll just criticize. Why cholil biraradi? He says these people are great at speech. There's nothing in the heart. There's no reality there. We need to understand the reality of these concepts. There are multiple dimensions. Swamiji used to say there are at least 9 dimensions. Time is also a dimension. And all of these things are existing in the same place at the same time in different dimensions. You have to open up to that dimension. Like in that movie series of Matrix, the door opens and you go into a new dimension. But people who are locked in the well, the dimension of the bottom of the well, that frog in the well dimension, will never understand it. That is why you need to grow, you need to transform. That is why the process of yoga is transformation. And if it does not transform the individual, it is not yoga. Coming back to the Bindus. When we talk about the Bhumadhya Bindu and going in a few inches, we come to that loci, that point where exists that beautiful energy, that focal point of consciousness, the Ajna Bindu. That Bindu that enables us to transcend information processing and go into intuitive understanding. You shift from information processing into intuitive understanding. This is where you have shifted from quantitative analysis to a qualitative experience. That is the shift that happens here. And that is why it is at this point that the energies shift. Even physically, the energies shift from the right side of the body to the left brain, left side of the body to the right brain. This is how the flow occurs. There's a whole shift of consciousness here. Up to this level, the energies are all clockwise, circling. Here now it's right, left, the 2 petals of the Ajna. The right and left brains. The qualitative and quantitative consciousness. The Lakshmi and the Saraswati, they come together here. That Ajna Bindu is the focal point of consciousness that enables the beautiful, harmonious, homeostatic functioning of the hypothalamo-pituitary axis. You know, whenever Patanjali Maharishi tells us, Hridaye Chitta Sambit, we say through the heart you understand consciousness. But I also think maybe that heart is actually the hypothalamus, the Ajna Bindu. Because for me, the heart of our very existence is this hypothalamo-pituitary axis. Especially when you want to go from quantitative to qualitative, this is the point where that happens. Below that is all quantitative experience. You quantitate how much you saw, how much you smelt. This is quantitative experience. Here, that intuitive understanding which is qualitative. So here we go out and we come back when we do the Prana Kriya. The Prana Kriya is an excellent practice to create awareness in this most important area. This is the most important part of your nervous system, where there is the power of choice. Remember, the superpower of being human is the power of choice. And as we go out, the prana flowing out, this flow out of the senses, the mind and the senses going out, and then the mind and the senses coming back and being settled, so that initially you're understanding what is the sensory experience quantitatively. And then as you go in and you settle in that Ajna Bindu, you experience what is the qualitative aspects of the senses. The rasa, the essence of the sense comes alive, what is called the tanmatra. We have the jnana indriya, which is the sensory apparatus that perceives the sense. So the eyes see, the ears hear, This is the Jnana Indriya. These are the Jnana Indriyas. They give us information. Jnana Indriya. When you go beyond that and you go into the Tanmatra, you have gone into the Ajna. And that is why you have transcended the information processing that occurs through the Jnana Indriyas, and you have gone beyond the Jnana Indriya. This is again a state of Pratyahara. That is why the Prana Kriya, which we were doing a few classes back, is a Pratyahara practice that enhances Pratyahara, because you are now at a level that is beyond the Jnana Indriya. You have come into the sixth sense, the super sense, the Ekendriya, the 11th sense, the Manas. And at this point, you are now starting to let that Manas develop into the Buddhi. You are moving from the Manomaya Kosha into the Vijnanamaya Kosha. And what lies at the junction of Manomaya, Vijnanamaya? The Bindus. Now, as you move out and move in here, you become aware of also an energy out here. So one is the awareness of the Bindu. But then you also become aware of something right out here, which is called the Chit Akasha. Chidakasha. The space of consciousness. Remember, Akasha as an element is associated with the Vishuddha Chakra here. Up here now it is the space of consciousness. This is not the same Akasha. This is Akasha. Up here it becomes what is called Chidakasha. Chit, consciousness, and Akasha, the space. The space of consciousness. The abode of consciousness. That is why it's in this Chidakasha that Lord Shiva dances in Chit Ambaram, Chidambaram. The cosmic dance is happening. The cosmic dance of evolutionary transformation, which is what Nataraja represents. That's why don't call that posture the dancer. Nataraja is not just any old dancer dancing anything. Nataraja is the symbol of quantum physics. Nataraja is the symbol of conscious transformation, the dance of the subatomic particles, the dance of the vibratory essence of the universe. And this Chidakasha is where that transformation is happening, not at the base of your spine. Because the base of your spine is the Prithvi element where you have landed up on this planet. You land with a hard thud. That's down there. Up here, Chidakasha. The Chidakasha is where all of this is happening. The Chidakasha is where the transformative process comes alive. And Shiva, as the transformer, comes alive. People translate Shiva as destroyer. Destroyer is a big battleship, not Shiva. Shiva is the transforming principle, the principle of transformation. And in order for transformation to occur, in order for growth to occur, in order for evolution to occur, the old must give way for the new. The old is destroyed for the sake of the new. Each and every one of us, once upon a time, was a small kid. Where is that kid now? That kid got destroyed so that the youth could manifest. The youth got destroyed so that the adult could manifest. The adult got destroyed so that the senior could manifest, hopefully a bit wiser than when we were an infant. Sometimes not so much. Is it destruction? No. It's transformation. Do you say the child in me died so that the youth in me could come? It is just space. And space is never empty. Because space is filled with space. Namaste astu Bhagavan Vishveshwaraya Mahadevaya Triyambakaya Tripurantakaya Trikalagni Rudraya Nilakantaya Mrityunjayaya Sarveshwaraya Sadashivaya Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha Shriman Mahadevaya Namaha. That Triyambaka, the three-eyed one, This is where the third eye comes. More about that later. Have a wonderful time wherever you are.